What if I told you there's a way to learn anything so fast it'll blow your mind and anyone can do it? Whether you want to master a language, make $1 million, or crush any new skill, here's the secret. It's not about what you learn, it's about how. Stick around because I'm about to show you the one skill that changes everything forever. Skip this and you'll keep struggling to learn, stuck exactly where you are. Don't let that happen. This is the game changer. Let's dive in. Ever opened a course tab and
A
5 minutes
few
later,
moments
you're
later.
deep in TikTok? Yeah, you're not alone. Most people think they're learning, but really, they're just distracted. One tab for the lesson, another for YouTube, 3 more for random shopping carts, and we wonder why nothing sticks. Here's the truth. Your brain can't build deep knowledge in shallow focus. Every time you switch tasks, your brain resets, and that kills your momentum. This is where deep focus changes everything. Author Cal Newport calls it deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on something cognitively demanding. And neuroscience backs it up. When you lock in, your brain forges stronger neural pathways, the kind that makes skills stick. Simple rule: the deeper your focus, the faster you learn. One study found just 2 hours of deep, focused learning crushed 8 hours of distracted cramming. Why? Because deep work taps straight into your brain's core learning systems. Elite performers, chess masters, pro athletes, top entrepreneurs, they're not grinding longer, they're going deeper. So how do you tap into deep work? First, block distractions completely. Don't just put your phone face down, put it in another room, gone. Set a timer for 30 to 60 minutes of pure, locked-in focus. Studying for an exam? Close everything except that one document. Working on a business plan? Shut down every other tab. No split screen, no quick checks. Next, stop multitasking. No bouncing between tasks. Pick one thing and focus on that only. Learning guitar? Don't jump between chords and scales. Just hammer that one chord progression until it's automatic. That's where real growth happens. Here's the real shift. Deep work isn't easy, but it's a skill you can build. The more you practice, the sharper your focus gets, and the faster you learn. Master this, and you won't just keep up, you'll blow past the multitaskers every single time. Chapter 2. If you've ever tried to learn something new, you've probably done the classic sit, watch, and hope it sticks routines. You watch tutorials, read books, or listen to podcasts thinking, yeah, I totally get it, but then when it's time to actually do it, you freeze. It's like your brain hit delete and you realize you still don't know what to do. Why? The problem is simple. Passive learning. It feels productive, but it's like going to the gym and just watching other people work out. No results, zero gains. Here's the truth. Learning happens when your brain struggles. This is because of a concept called desirable difficulty, and it's exactly what it sounds like. When learning is too easy, your brain checks out. But when it feels hard, that's when your brain starts building new connections and locking in the skill for real. It's uncomfortable, it's intense, but it's also 10 times faster than passive learning, and research proves it. In one study, students who tested themselves learned way faster and remembered way longer than students who just reviewed their notes. This is called active recall. It's like lifting weights for your brain. When you force yourself to remember or do something without the answers in front of you, your brain literally rewires to make that knowledge stick. Here's the cheat code. Stop watching and start doing. Learning a language? After hearing a new word, say it out loud without peeking. Studying? Close your notes and quiz yourself. Every time you feel that mental strain, that's exactly where the magic is happening. And remember this, you don't need to know everything before you start. You need to start, mess up, struggle, and learn as you go. That's how top performers learn fast. They test, fail, adjust, and repeat. Speed comes from action, not endless preparation. Chapter 3. If you wanted to learn to swim, would you go to a bunch of beginners who've never been in a pool? Or trust a swim coach? Pretty obvious, right? The same logic applies to learning any skill, fast. You level up way faster when you have experts in your corner. Experts aren't just people who know more than you. They're like cheat codes. They've already done the hard work. They know the path and the potholes. And when you're around them, they shorten the learning curve, reveal methods you'd never figure out alone, and, most importantly, spot what you're doing wrong. And trust me, that's way more powerful than just knowing what you're doing right. Imagine learning tennis. You could hit balls against a wall for months and still serve like a beginner. But spend 10 minutes with a pro, and they'll spot that tiny flaw in your grip that's been holding everything back. One correction, and boom, instant progress. Or think about learning business. You could follow 100 free courses, or you could have a mentor who's built real companies saying, skip that, do this instead. That shortcut? Priceless. Experts don't just correct your mistakes, they raise your whole game. You pick up their mindset, you absorb their strategies, and you start holding yourself to their high standards. And here's something wild. Being around experts forces you to level up. You feel that little pressure, the right kind of pressure, to keep up. It's uncomfortable, sure, but that discomfort, it's one of the most powerful fuels for growth. Why? Because your brain doesn't want to be the weakest link in the tribe. So when your tribe is made of pros, you rise to their level way faster than you ever would alone. Chapter 4. Let's be real. If you've ever tried to learn something new, you've probably experienced the frustration of feeling like you're stuck in quicksand, and despite grinding, staying consistent, you just can't improve. And the worst part, you have no clue why. That's where teaching it comes in. Most people think learning is about soaking up info like a sponge. But here's the truth. Sponges don't hold things for long. If you want that knowledge to stick, you've got to flip the script. Teaching what you're learning? Total cheat code. It forces your brain to organize, clarify, and connect the dots in ways passive learning never can. And get this, studies show people who teach retain up to 90% more of what they learn. Yeah, 90%. That's wild. It's called the Protégé Effect. And once you use it, your learning hits a whole new level. Think about learning a new language. You could listen to podcasts for months, sure. But when someone actually asks you a question, boom, you freeze. Now imagine teaching someone, even just the basics. Suddenly your brain's recalling vocab, grammar, rules. It sticks because you're using it actively, not just passively absorbing. Same thing with history. Want to really remember the key events? Teach them to a friend. Heck, teach them to your dog. Seriously, it works. Why? Because when you teach, you have to break things down into simple, bite-sized pieces. And here's the kicker. You can't hide from gaps in your knowledge. Teaching exposes them fast, and that's exactly what helps you fill them and grow. Here's where most people go wrong. They wait until they know everything before they even think about teaching. Big mistake. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need all the answers. The second you learn something new, teach it. Here's the real magic. Active recall. Teaching forces you to pull info out of your brain, not just recognize it on paper. That recall? It's what burns the knowledge into your memory. You've ever tried to explain something and hit that moment of, wait, I don't actually get this part. That's gold, because now you know exactly where you're weak and you can fix it fast. When you teach, your brain stops treating info like something to memorize and starts treating it like something to master and pass on. Here's a bonus tip. Deliberate practice. Most people think practice means repetition, but real growth happens when you target your weak spots with laser focus. Struggling with guitar chord changes? Don't play the whole song. Just hammer that tricky switch until it's clean. It's not about doing more. It's about practicing smarter. Now here's the wild thing. When you combine deliberate practice with teaching, you create a powerful feedback loop. You teach, you practice deliberately, you hit a wall, you teach again. Each cycle locks in more knowledge and sharpens your skills faster. And don't forget to rest. Your brain needs breaks to process and consolidate what you've learned. Sometimes the fastest growth actually happens when you step away for a bit. Most importantly, enjoy the process. Because at the end of the day, real growth isn't just about new skills. It's about becoming someone who loves learning. And honestly, that's simpler than you think.